I have to say, the statistical miracle of our being born. It's 1 in 400 trillion that the right egg and the right sperm, again, it wasn't on my bingo card to be doing a talk show, and certainly wasn't on my bingo card to be doing a talk show interviewing you talking about eggs and sperm, but here we are. I am so thrilled to welcome to the show Rabbi Friedman. Hello.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Rabbi.
Having 14 children is not an amazing accomplishment.
From someone who
raising them is an amazing accomplishment.
From someone who has birthed and raised 0 children, I can tell you that both really are amazing accomplishments. And speaking just for a moment, forgive me, of amazing accomplishments, one of the main ways that I was lucky enough to be connected with you is through this book that we are both in together. It's called Elevator Pitches for God. I've mentioned it on this show before. It's comprised of 71-page essays from all kinds of individuals, 2 of whom you are watching right now. And Rabbi Friedman's contribution I read this morning, and it's predictably fantastic. So welcome again.
You are very kind. Thank you.
I just wanted to corroborate your point about how the Torah is new. I grew up in a secular household, and I was lucky to discover the Torah thanks to my colleague and co-host, Dennis Prager. I'm not Jewish, but I came to be utterly fascinated by, riveted by, and enchanted by the Torah through Dennis. And one of my favorite stories in the Torah, which evinces your point about its eternal relevance, is the Tower of Babel story. And I think that really speaks very well to our time right now, specifically with technology. I've done shows here on Timeless about how new all of this is, how new the internet is, how new the iPhone is, how new things like Netflix and Amazon Prime and food delivery services are, and AI. All of this is so new, and it has deadened and transformed the human experience by keeping us in our apartments on the computers, on our phones, and not out in real life. And I did a show, Rabbi, recently on this program where I said we should pay attention to what God warns us in the Tower of Babel story, to not just create for the sake of creating, for the sake of making a name for ourselves. We have to make sure that when we are advancing, we are doing that with appropriate guidance. And so I just wanted to say that again to substantiate your point, and also to ask you, if you could pick one story from the Torah that you think that every American right now should know, what is that story and why?
Oh, that's a hard one.
Good. That means it's a good question.
Mm-hmm. Of all the great stories. But just recently we were talking about this, so I'll just mention it again. The Jews had sinned terribly. God was very angry. And Moshe is pleading for forgiveness. Eventually, God says, I forgive them, and I will send an angel to guide you to the promised land. This was in the desert. And our teacher Moshe said, I'm paraphrasing, he said, an angel? If you're not coming with us, we don't even want to go. And God said, okay, I'm coming. That is the most incredible story that doesn't get enough attention. I mean, first of all, the sheer chutzpah.
That's right.
We were just at the verge of extinction. God was so upset with us, he didn't want to talk to us anymore. And he forgives us. And he says, okay, I forgive you. And I'll send an angel to guide you. And Moshe says, no, angel. We don't worship angels. We don't relate to angels. We didn't come here for angels. We want you. If you're not coming, we don't want to go. I love that story. We are partners with God. Without God, we've got no place to go. We're not interested in angels. We're not interested in religion. We're not interested in heaven. We're not interested in being saints. Either we're here to serve God and partner with God, or there's no purpose to the whole thing. And God was so pleased to hear that from Moshe. Because, yeah, he's got someone to talk to. This is real. And so, branching off from that, the idea that Judaism is not a religion, it was never meant to be a religion. Jews were never meant to be religious. The whole notion of getting to heaven and securing your afterlife, where in the Torah do you see that? Of course, there is an afterlife. We don't just disappear. But are we here only to get there? That doesn't make any sense. And that's not what the Torah emphasizes. So we know there's reward, we know there's punishment. Who cares? Are we doing a good job or not? That's what matters. And we need to know this, because religiosity is toxic. It's not all good. We need to keep things pure. God created the world for a reason. He told us what the reason is. He told us how he's depending on us to make that happen. Let's have an update. State of the Union. How are we doing? Are we getting there? Can we do better? That's the issue. Going to heaven? There's a point in that.
Now, Rabbi Friedman, you were saying, which is so compelling and important right now, that God created the world for a reason. What is that reason? And then you went on to say we need to figure out how we are doing, do a kind of state of the union about how we're doing. I want us to first clarify, though, because a lot of people don't understand, myself included. I don't know if I fully understand. What's the reason that God put us here and created this world?
If we could only get the world to ask that question, we would already have a much, much better world.
Yes.
Speaking about the big questions, that's got to be the ultimate question.
Yes.
It's got to be the question that we cannot avoid. And if we don't answer it, then we know nothing. Because if we don't know why we're here, then what do we know? It's just so fundamental. In the past, maybe we were too consumed. We were too desperate for our survival to be bothered with philosophical questions like why. Now it sounds funny, like why am I here is a philosophical question. It's the most fundamental question of all. What's going on? Children are saying, I didn't ask to be born. It's not a philosophy anymore. It's a vital, visceral need to know. Why am I here? I didn't ask for this. So you have people suing their parents in court. They want their parents to pay all their bills for the rest of their lives because they didn't ask to be born. So you brought me into this world without my consent, and you want me to work hard to pay my bills? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't seem right. You brought me into the world, you pay the bills. The parents, of course, all say, hey, we didn't ask to be born either.
It's a good retort.
So, yeah, and it's true. So what is the point? And religion doesn't answer the question. To say, yeah, life stinks. You can get out of this world and go to a better world. Really? How do I do that? Well, die. I don't like this plan. So no one really explains why we're here. Religion tells you how to get out of here or where you're going to go when you're out of here. But why are we here? Just to get there? Isn't there a direct route? So this question, if we just asked it, we would be better people. Taking life for granted is so unintelligent because it shouldn't be taken for granted. It's not that great.
It is so unintelligent. I have to say, I didn't think that I would be discussing egg and sperm with you, but I will for a moment because I recently did some research and I did a segment on the show about the statistical miracle of our being born. It's 1 in 400 trillion that the right egg and the right sperm, again, it wasn't on my bingo card to be doing a talk show, and it certainly wasn't on my bingo card to be doing a talk show interviewing you talking about eggs and sperm, but here we are. It's an amazing thing that the one egg and the one sperm of all the millions of different combinations and iterations and that could have happened met to form you. And we think that because there are 8 billion people in the world and there right now, and that there have been billions of people who have lived, that living is a common thing. Living is an uncommon thing. We need to compare the billions of people who have been on Earth with the mega trillions of people who could have been here on Earth and are not. So I think what you are saying is so on the money. It is an unintelligent thing and a morally immature thing, but an unintelligent thing to not contemplate why we are here.
If you enjoyed this conversation or this topic and you're looking for more information or you want to hear it again from another angle, there's a way to do that. And that is in this book. It's all there. Order it from Amazon. You can read it, reread it, and share it. These ideas, these messages, this approach to life, this approach to Torah, to meaning, and to morals is vital for the world today, and we need to get this message out to the entire world. It is universal, it's essential, it's indispensable. To support this effort, if you want to be a partner in this crime, check out the link and make a donation. It really helps a lot. And thank you in advance.